Caitlin Clark adding that muscle a little bit too quick played a pivotal role in what we seeing today, bro. It's just unfortunate, dog. And this is a morning game too, July 9th. I don't think she come back. The game after that, then they come back Friday. Don't see her coming back from that one. And, ultimately after that, they got a couple of days off because of the All-Star game. Now, that'll be in Indy, but I feel like Caitlin Clark will play. So, this right here was released yesterday. It stated, when will Caitlin Clark return?
Could Caitlin Clark's injury be worse than they're telling us? A medical expert just blew the lid off claims that her groin injury is day-to-day. If that's not true, what else is the Indiana Fever hiding? Stick around as we investigate what's really going on. The Indiana Fever says Caitlin Clark's groin injury is day-to-day, but is that really the truth? A leading medical expert has pointed out a critical detail. Groin injuries like hers are rarely that simple. Most cases span weeks, not days, which calls the team's injury report into question. And what happens if this isn't just a short-term hiccup? If Clark is out longer than expected, it could completely derail the Fever's momentum and their season. So far, Clark has missed 2 games, and her absence has been glaring. They've struggled to replicate her scoring, her playmaking, and most importantly, the energy she brings to the team. Without her on the court, defensive schemes have started to collapse, and the scoring has taken a massive hit. Fans are already growing restless, but behind closed doors, the medical outlook might be even more troubling. The expert theory is that Clark's injury isn't mild at all. It might even border on strain of the higher grade. If true, this would mean weeks of rest and potentially missing her All-Star debut.
Now, I am here to tell you guys, Caitlin Clark has been missing in action for quite some time, man. She's been missing a lot of games this season, revealed by this medical expert, man. Like I stated, dog, this here is just, you know what I'm saying? They play the Dream. Now these games are at home. Now, I did let you guys know that they do got a 5-game home stretch. Well, they had a 5-game home stretch, the puzzle pieces, and the pieces all aligned, bro. With all that being said, let's check out what this doctor had to say.
Why would the Fever downplay this? It could come down to confidence. WNBA teams rely heavily on their stars to draw in fans, sell tickets, and hold their team's image together. Admitting an injury as serious as this could risk backlash from a disappointed fan base, leaving the Fever in an even tougher spot both on and off the court. This isn't the first time the WNBA has seen stars battle groin injuries either. Names like Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and others have all faced similar setbacks, and most of them didn't bounce back in a week. For many, their recovery dragged into multiple weeks despite early optimism from teams. The difference with Clark, however, could be her rapid muscle gain this season. Some, like Johnny Liquidator, believe that building strength too quickly might have strained her body, making her prone to this type of injury. Add in the non-stop WNBA schedule, and the odds of a speedy recovery only shrink.
I did a video yesterday kind of letting y'all know, man, I feel as if, it's my theory, Caitlin Clark adding all that muscle. Me personally, I don't think Caitlin Clark come back until All-Star break. Let's check out their schedule before we get into this information that was released. Yeah, man, next after that, they got the Sun. I don't see her coming back for that one. Then you got the Liberty, was never a day-to-day injury. Now, I do want to let y'all know before we get into this video, this is something that I want to say, talk about.
Here's the kicker. Word from insiders suggests Clark might not return until the All-Star break, if at all. Losing her for that long could destroy the Fever's playoff chances. But is the way they're using her just as much to blame? Caitlin Clark's struggles haven't gone unnoticed, and a big part of it could come down to how the Indiana Fever is using her. Instead of putting the ball in her hands and letting her work her magic, the team has been moving her off ball, a strategy that's left a lot of people asking questions. Is this really the best way to use a player with her unique skill set? Johnny Liquidator has been vocal about this, pointing out that the Fever's system might be designed to accommodate other players, potentially at the expense of maximizing Clark's strengths. That's a pretty bold claim, but looking at the on-court results, it's hard to ignore.
We know they like to press Caitlin Clark, hacker, full court press all the way through. We have to have this be considered as well. Unfortunate, man. It's just truly, truly unfortunate. So the next game is tomorrow against the Valkyries. in this year's All-Star game. I feel like that the time limit with this injury has definitely that, it was a day-to-day thing. It wasn't that bad. Now, with that being said, we know before this injury, she had a strain injury.
Clark's calling card has always been her ability to create plays, whether she's pulling up from three, driving to the basket, or setting teammates up with perfect looks. But when she's stationed off the ball, opportunities to dictate the offense shrink. She's forced into catch-and-shoot scenarios or cutting through traffic instead of controlling the flow of the game. This shift might explain why she struggled from deep this year. Without the rhythm that comes from handling the ball, her confidence from three-point range has taken a hit. Liquidator even suggested that this system is preventing her from getting into a consistent rhythm.
Coming off the road from the, I believe, the Aces game, if I'm not mistaken. But now we know the front office and Stephanie said this was going to be a day-to-day thing. Basically saying, could this be the same injury? Could the Indiana Fever front office be lying to the fans? Was Caitlin Clark never really ready to come back?
And so far, the numbers seem to back that up. One game against Chicago stands out as a perfect example. In that matchup, Clark was visibly frustrated. She spent large portions of time drifting on the perimeter while the action moved without her. As a result, her production took a noticeable dip, and the Fever's offense, lacking her usual spark, stalled repeatedly. These moments highlight the disconnect between her natural play style and the team's current approach. On top of that, the pressure on Clark as the league's rising star is intense. Every move is scrutinized, every miss analyzed.
A little bit too quick, fast, and in a hurry could be part of the reason why she got injured, bro. Now, with that being said, that's not to take away from how physical the league been. I don't know, but it is looking spooky. We need Caitlin back in a major way. And me personally, I feel like the organization need to be held accountable, bro, for letting her put all that muscle on that fast, dog. Let's check out this footage real quick. Caitlin Clark has missed the last 4 games and will miss tonight's game against the Los Angeles Sparks. Explains why her groin strain played a pivotal role in her return. But you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Look at the...
Combine that with an injury like hers, and there's a real concern. Could playing off ball put her at higher risk of further strain? If the system doesn't adjust, she might be fighting an uphill battle even after she's back. Caitlin Clark's groin injury could be the turning point the Indiana Fever didn't see coming. The experts claim that groin injuries are rarely day-to-day, exposes a serious gap in what's being shared with the fans. If her return is delayed and the team keeps struggling, the pressure to explain their plans will only intensify. Fans love Clark, just look at the signs in the stands. But not everyone in the league feels the same way. Whether it's her rapid muscle gain, the system she's in, or hidden injury details, the Fever may need to rethink everything. Is the truth still being hidden?